we're here again, looking for some boats to paint. Google says that there's some down here, so it might be a nice place to go and try and find the nicest one and maybe talk about what we're looking for in that boat. This is like a plein air dream, this. It's like, there's about 100 different boats to choose from, and there's loads of places to set up as well. Like, I feel like this land here is dry, so we can set up the easel anywhere. Some of the boats are absolutely old and decrepit. Like, what's happened with that boat? What was it? It looks like it could have been some kind of like Victorian ship. And then there's all these little tiny ones as well. Let's not get too distracted by the first one that we've seen. There's plenty of boats to choose from. It's a little bit boggy, but we'll be able to find a safe way across, I think. One thing we've got to think about is when's the tide going to come in. That might be a race against time.
That's 100 years old. It's a sailing fishing boat. It's still working.
Are they kind of seaworthy, are they? Or is it just for the river?
Well, we don't go to sea. We potter up and down here.
Yeah.
That's a gunboat. Naval, ex-Royal Navy.
Wow.
That was at D-Day, 6th of June. That was
Jeez.
It's one of the last.
Just spoke to an absolutely lovely old man who just told us some of the kind of backstory of some of the boats. He said some of them were fishing boats. There's a boat over there somewhere. I'm not actually sure which one he was pointing to was at D-Day, and it was a gunboat. So that's some of that really nice history. But before we do anything, we're going to have to go and get some food. And the other thing he told us is that there's a really nice cafe up there. Right, we are fed. We've got some energy. Let's find something to paint. This one is really interesting. Just the fact that it's tipped on its side and it's got the big sail hanging over there sort of tells a story. Like, this boat was on the sea once and now it's just on land really far in, so that's interesting. But then we have got all those boats in the background that I'd have to paint as well. This one is a good contender just because of the light hitting it. That could change though. I want to make sure that I'm not getting a scene that's got too many boats in, because I have actually only got a certain amount of time to paint in, and a boat is a complicated thing to paint. So we want to get one main boat in the shot, or in my kind of painting viewfinder, that just stands out and that's the focal point. So that looks quite a good one, but we'll keep looking around. Whoa! Yeah, can't go any further than that. That's really annoying because there's really nice boats over here that are sort of like forbidden fruit now. Ooh. Look at that. There's water here as well. So I've got that old tyre in the thing, which just adds intrigue. Bit of reflection on that. And if I just kind of capture, there's 3 boats there, but I don't have to have them all in the shot. That's quite nice. But you know what? I think I know which one I'm going to paint now. So should we go and get the stuff? So this is the scene here. The sun is sort of where I want it now, so I've just got to memorise the shadows again. I'm going to capture part of this boat, and that lovely cobalt blue background. So let's get going. Right. this part is me sketching, which just means that I'm kind of getting the frame of what I'm going to paint down onto my canvas. And then, so I'm not worried about being very detailed, I'm just doing big block shapes to start with, and then later on we'll start cutting into those. Also, it's a good thing to mention that you're not stuck with the thing that you're painting. There are certain parts of this scene I'm not that keen on as, you know, as a painting. For instance, the mast on the top of that boat there, that's lying flat on it, I don't like it. It's not aesthetically pleasing to me. So I think it could do without it. I'm going to take that out of the shot. So we'll see what that looks like. So I'm ready to start blocking in colours now. Now we won't see this brush until much later because the rest of the painting, the majority, is going to be done with a big brush. And I think that's important to say because it's one of those things that people think, you know, oh, get the detail in, use a tiny little brush. Try to get everything in you can with this, well, a big brush. I'm using a kind of mid-sized filbert until you absolutely need the smaller brush. So during sort of blocking in here, once that's almost achieved, the rest of the painting is almost just a kind of fight between all the different areas of blocked in colour. You are just shaping out everything. So it becomes just, you know, drawing the paint this way, drawing the paint that way, until nothing annoys you about the painting. Can you hear that? Helps that we've been incredibly lucky with the weather as well. You know, it just makes painting an absolute joy. Another thing to mention is that when we oil paint, the best way to do it is to go from thin to thick. So you paint in layers, and your first layer needs to be thin enough that when you come to paint a layer over that, you're not trying to paint on top of a layer of thick paint, which is almost impossible. So the first layer being thin is really going to help. one thing that I think puts people off even starting to paint is when we see, you know, talented artists talking specifically about the colours that they're using, you know, whether it's cadmium red, medium, you know, yellow ochre. It doesn't matter as much as you think, especially when you're starting out, because these are colours, you know, as long as we got those primaries, those reds, blues and yellows, you're able to mix any colour from that. What I would suggest is have a warm and a cool version of every primary colour. Just get those 3 primary colours and start practicing, because the fun in finding those colours comes along the way, and that's when you're going to get really kind of knowledgeable about painting. So at the minute I'm trying to mix the reflection colour in the water over there. It looks brown. People might just try and darken the white colour and it'll go blue. Paint what you can actually see, and then when you step back from the painting you'll go, oh yeah, that's weird, you know, it's all worked out. It's normally when you step back from the painting that you start to see where you've gone right and wrong. You know, I will often try to paint at arm's length like this, so we're not holding our brush like this up close, holding it at arm's length. I'm getting to a point where it'll be bringing the painting to an end. I just want to kind of push the paint about now, so that any kind of tiny detail that I don't want to look back at it when I've finished it, especially for the purpose of this video, and think, oh, I wish I'd painted that bit in now. So I'm just making sure that I've got any tiny, even just the slightest change of light that I think is going to add something to the painting, and I'm going to get it in there. So there we are. I am really happy with the results. It's a very loose painting, and what I mean by that is that it has these big, broad, confident strokes, but it still gets across that sort of realism from a distance, which is just exactly what you're going for with a plein air painting. The colours, I feel like we've nailed. We've got all these different tones in the grass. Water is a difficult thing to paint, and again, it's one of those where when you step back from the painting, I think we've managed to get it down. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This is our second one of these videos, and you know if you've enjoyed it, just maybe like and comment, and I'll see you next time. That's what I want to paint. The statue of the man. Coffee done. Can't believe everyone's queued up just to see my painting.